Racing Guru here. I'm just going to go through some of the results at last night at Santa Anita. I don't think we'll just go through them. Chosen Vaughn was 6-4 early, and obviously I thought that would be the token ride for the jockey. The last race was well ahead on Bayer speed figures. It was 6-4 back in the 4-6, tipped by the Guru. The next day race, I went for Lavender, number 10, and we got that race wrong. Race 10, Becca Taylor, we went points on this. I think it was 6-4 when I posted the points, backed into 5-4 favourite. Chairman's Mere, we gave Warren Showtime each way at 1 point. I was expecting Warren Showtime to come late and win the race. He get caught third, but we still made a small profit on a point each way. This is the Derby, Rock Your World. I gave Rock Your World to win, 14-1 early. I said everyone he had an 82 buyer compared to Medina Spirit 95 buyer, but his work, he had 2 wins, and he looked classy, nice pedigree for this type of class, Group 1, and he was showing great works as well. So I pointed this one out, Rock Your World. Recent weeks I pointed to some, what could be improvers, and basically the top buyer was winning the race. I did mention Medina Spirit and Dream Shake, and we had the TriCast in that race. But the main thing is we had Rock Your World, which was 14-1 at the time I tipped the winner, Rock Your World, and I did give Medina Spirit as the best buyer in the race, but I said go for Rock Your World at big odds. Rip City, we got Rip City and Motown Music in exacta. We just missed there. Coast of Rome got in between our exacta, but I did tip the winner, Rip City. Now this is a race. This is the Oak Suze. Now this was 10-1. I got 10-1 for Suze. There was a non-runner, but I still got. I don't think I got any taken off because of that non-runner. Because I think it was after the non-runner. Anyway, I tipped Suze. We got put points on, and the work had been really good, which was pointing to this horse has really changed. I said in the race, it needs to find a bit, to find to Beautiful Gift. The buyers he only had a 70 buyer, Suze, compared to 87 or 89 Beautiful Gift. But Suze only had a 72 buyer. That's why it was 10-1. Well, 14-1 originally, then backed it. I got 10-1 because it had been backed. When I looked at the race, it had been backed. So, even that was an indication of what I was already reading, because I read the latest works were pretty outstanding, which showed me that this horse had improved massively since its last run. And you don't get that in the UK, all the works. So that is absolutely a great tool for US handicappers to use, what British handicappers can't get. And I must say, handicapping in America is much easier than it is in Great Britain. So obviously we get winners on both codes, lots of winners on both codes, and in South Africa handicapping. We had 6 winners yesterday at Turffontein, and the Derby. So that means we tipped both Derby winners to South African Derby and the Santa Anita Derby yesterday, and we just missed out at Keeneland. I had tipped the second. Obviously, Godolphin horse won at Keeneland, but we did have, I think, 4 winners at Keeneland, and we only tipped 6 horses at Keeneland. I think we had 4 winners. I think we've had 7 winners at Santa Anita from the 12 races. Altogether. Going Global, there's another winner for. So we had 7 winners at Santa Anita yesterday. We had 6 winners at Turffontein, and we had both Derby winners. That is not a bad day. and we also had a couple of winners at big price winners at Musselburgh from 4 races. I only tipped 4 races. We missed out on the 2-year-old race. That was quite disappointing. That Little Houlihan, because I did fancy him from the Brottlesby as well, and I thought, that race. But the horses that were in that race weren't really precocious or bred for that speed. So, they were all in basically the same. I wouldn't follow that formula from yesterday, to be honest with you, because I think that would have been quite a slow race. I'll have to check, but I think the pedigrees just weren't forward, forward pedigrees for what I look for. But the thing is, they were all the same. So basically, the race might be misleading for form, especially for speed. There's a lot of horses will be faster than them for that ran it in Musselburgh, and that's normally a good pointer for the season. That race at Musselburgh, that first race at Musselburgh, the 5-year, the 2-year-old race, the 5 furlongs. That's normally a good pointer, but I don't think this year it'll be a good pointer. But we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. There could be something I'm not seeing in this. Just towards the pedigrees, because I didn't think any of them were very precocious at all. They were not what I look for in debut winners anyway. So I missed that one out, and I've got 2 places in the UK, but stick with me for the UK 2-year-olds, because honestly, I get a lot of 2-year-old debut winners in the season, and it goes into the 500s and the thousands. You might not believe it now, but when you get to the end of the season, you'll notice that we can quickly make it up, because the 2-year-old races come thick and fast very soon. And I'll try and do as many as I can this year, because I missed last year because I was very sick. But I'm back here full throttle this year, so I'll try and get as many 2-year-old winners as we possibly can on debut. I mean, that's the best time to back them for me, because once I get into the 2-year-olds pedigrees, I mean, I can spot these winners, and it helps knowing, being involved in it for many years, the 2-year-olds, and having my own 2-year-olds, and being with one of the best bloodstock experts in the world with 2-year-old races, learning from them over the years. So it helps a lot, knowing the trainers and how they operate is also a big help, and even some of the owners, how the owners want their horses trained, it helps a lot as well. So you pick up all these little tips over the years, but you can't explain. You can't actually write it down what you're looking for, because something can come to you, and then it remind you of something else, something as simple as that can point you towards the winner. So what you've got to do is you've just got to sit down and go through it, and something will come to you. Once you read in the form, then you'll get something else, and it'll all fit together, like a little puzzle. And it works for me anyway, as you'll find out as we go into the season. But anyway, a great day had yesterday for the tips, and I hope anyone who followed enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't post the Santa Anita tips because I'm not getting many. Actually, I'm getting tons and tons of people visiting the website, but I'm not getting many views on the YouTube again. So maybe that's why they're all winning. Nobody knows about them. So but I am getting like 200 on each page every day. So it's working out at like 600 to 800 a day that's visiting the website. So that's really good, So I have had some interest in sponsorships on the website, but I don't want to go down that route. Everyone knowing about this and knowing about that, all the, you get all the blood suckers and the, everybody. So it's best to just keep it small, because it's all about liabilities racing. I mean, if they're losing too much races, that's when things can go strange. I mean, I've even had it myself with a jockey who rode my horse to lose. I'm not going to go into it, but that's how I know there's something more than just results and racing. In England now, I have been campaigning a lot of years about this, and I think it is starting to work, because if you look at the British racing now, it went a bit funny, for a couple of years, but the last 6 months to 8 months, it looks pretty straight to me. The British racing, so they all look like they're trying and all look like they're revved up to go on the race. So that's pretty. I'm pretty proud of the British racing actually. The last 8 months before that, it was just all over the place. You know, you couldn't rely on any form. The form was up and down. You couldn't follow any form lines. They were all up and down. I mean, it's basically terrible, you know. But now, when I'm doing the handicapping, a lot of the form's fitting, so I know that it's straight. Because you can tell when you're a handicapper when they're not playing the game, you know. When you do it every day for 35 years, you know what they're up to, you know, when you're handicapping races. So you can't pull anything over our eyes. So we've got all the trainers and jockeys profiled. We've built profiles over everything. That's what we do. We build stats, profiles, and everything. We've got it's all